When I first started doing commissions, a viewer commissioned a large set of Southern Pacific passenger cars. Among these were an articulated coach and an articulated restaurant diner. While I eventually sold instructions for the conventional cars, I did not for the articulated cars because, among other things, they could only go around R104. How can we get these around sharper turns? Let's understand the problem and then look at a solution. Prototypically, both sides of an articulated car usually join on the center of a Jacob's bogie. This mechanically logical connection works fine if the joint doesn't bend too much, but the bodies will quickly smash into each other if the angle becomes too great, and LEGO R40 is very sharp. Some obvious fixes include spacing the halves further apart, limiting the model to wide radius curves, or potentially messing with the pivots. While I had to limit my original design to R104 and mess with the pivots, I did not need to increase the spacing, which I considered unacceptable anyway. I could also use a soft coupling, like a spring or rubber band, but then the drag of the rest of the train would pass through that joint, and it could expand and contract arbitrarily depending on the load, which I also considered unacceptable. I did explore and reject a double hinge design where the two halves would rotate around the pivot on the inside of a curve, allowing the other side to expand. This concept does technically work, but a LEGO implementation has too much slop, and the mechanism pulls apart quite a bit in straights, leaving very ugly gaps. Recently, the weird couplers on the N-scale E127 reminded me of this double hinge, and I wondered if that implementation could solve my original problem. The Kato design does have a spring, but it only centers the coupler and does not carry any load. Unfortunately, I think this only works with conventional cars fully located on two bogies, and therefore will not work between two bodies sharing a single Jacob's bogie. Still, playing with this idea got the gears turning again. Eventually, I reasoned that I needed a mechanism to expand and contract the gap between the two halves as the car entered and exited curves. But how? At first, it seemed like I should control the expansion based on the angle of the leading and trailing trucks. But while this mostly works for single curves, it does not at all work for geometries where a bogie can straighten out relative to its half, even while the two halves remain angled relative to each other. Then I thought I had to control the expansion based on the angle of the bodies relative to the center bogie, but that doesn't work for the same reason. The center bogie can angle arbitrarily relative to the two halves. Eventually, I realized that the expansion should only depend on the angle between the two bodies. This actually simplified implementation as well, since I did not need a mechanism on both ends, though I still had to figure out how to implement the one mechanism. It needs to convert about 60 degrees of angle into about 2 studs of travel, and fit through about 3 studs above the bogie. This ultimately requires some amplification of the angular motion, and I really wanted to make it a pure linkage with a lever where the hinge would push on the short end and the long end would push against the body. This worked conceptually, but again proved too sloppy, and the halves would pull apart in straights, like with the double hinge design I described way earlier. I had to find a different mechanism, and I ultimately settled on gears. Several stages transfer the movement of the hinge to a crank with a 3-to-1 gear increase. When the hinge bends 60 degrees, the one stud crank rotates 180 degrees, which translates into a two stud linear motion. The gear train still has a decent amount of slop, but it only manifests in shallow curves because the crank fully contracts in straights and fully extends in the sharpest turns. I did try using knob gears to limit the slop, but they only have marginally less backlash and don't seem to transmit torque evenly through a revolution. The assembly itself is also a little bulky because I initially thought it would have to support the weight of that half of the car, but it doesn't have to. While the bogie only connects to the fixed pivoting side, the sliding side still rests on it throughout its entire travel. With the entire car in an R40 turn, the two halves barely clear, with only a tiny bit of play. I had to cheat a tiny bit by moving the pivots on the outer bogies 2 studs inward. This slightly decreases the maximum angle between the two halves at the cost of increasing the overhang at the ends. Also, unlike some of my earlier prototypes, this design will go through R40 switches and S-bends as well. The two ends pin together for relatively easy assembly and disassembly. This connection and the mechanism itself nonetheless seem more than strong enough to pull magnets in straights and curves, though we shall have to see how it holds up after many cycles in production. The rest of the model has pretty conventional studs up construction, save for a bit of snot for the doors at the ends and some windows in the middle. Both roofs open up, and I considered putting minifig seating inside the empty side, but there isn't enough vertical height even for short headpieces. As for the prototypes, these Southern Pacific 66-foot articulated chair cars were originally built for various daylight services, but they were rebuilt with more conventional aesthetics later in life. The SPs seem to like articulated cars, though the several tens of 2-unit articulated chairs were much more common than the handful of 3-unit articulated diners. One of each actually made it to the Niles Canyon Railroad, and while I didn't see either in person, I did reference photos of their chair car for this model, though it seems like the end bogies of that unit are not original. Finally, I'll look into making instructions if this holds up. But on that note, this is the end of the video. Please consider subscribing if you like what we do, and have a nice day.